3, 2, 1.
Right. Hey, guys.
And welcome, everybody. It is Saturday night, the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm here, Jason Douglas, with Court Rodnowski, and another edition of Yankee T News and Common Sense News and Entertainment, celebrating UConn's victory over Illinois today.
Well, among other things, I don't know that we have, there is one small celebration with Iran. You know, the second pilot was found, right?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
When was that announced? I was hypnotized with UConn for the last couple hours.
Sure, I can't blame you. A couple hours ago, maybe.
Wow, right around tip-off. Beautiful.
And there's going to be a story, right?
Found safe. Wait, it's found safe, right?
Yes, found safe, alive and well.
All right.
Okay, but you got to keep in mind.
Here to stay. It will never die. It was meant to be.
Hold on. Slow down.
Go ahead.
Okay, there'll be a backstory. You can be sure about, the fact that the Iranian. We're going to find out how close the Iranians came to getting him. Okay.
What does it matter now? We got him back, and it's bombs away.
Well, bombs away. So
48 hours.
Okay.
48 hours, right?
Okay. Well, bombs away just in time for the Iranians to having received their latest shipment of Russian air defense systems. Yes. However, the problem is the latest version that the Russians sent have proven to be pretty effective. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we might be up to 3 aircraft that have been shot with these Iranian air defense. With the Russian air defense system. It's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. So we hope that they get taken out quickly. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, one other thing I want to point out before we get to the good stuff is the realization that as the IRGC leadership gets whittled down, you want to know what's happening in terms of the new leadership?
What's happening?
They're younger and younger.
Yeah.
And
more radical?
No, less experienced. Look for more rookie errors. Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, that's like, okay, this is I'm calling it a pleasant surprise. If they're managing to keep going down in the ranks, and then as they're going down, the ones that take over are younger and younger, there's kind of a limit.
Right. To that.
In terms of competence and capability.
You get a 15-year-old in there running the show or something?
No, it could happen.
Hey, they don't, that's how they are.
Right. So that's an important point to keep in mind as this progresses.
And what about in 48 hours, they're going to take out the power grid if they don't?
Well, I mean, the other part I find interesting is we've been complaining about how Israel's been acting like a rogue actor here, but now they're holding fire at this moment. So in other words, they expect to participate in, quote, the big one, if it comes to that, which it probably will.
I still think you can account for a lot of the things that we see that Israel does that we would say, oh, whoa, hold on here type of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of that can be accounted for, again, I believe, by angry upper military officers in the Israeli army that have seen their loved ones blown up over the last 50 years and are just like really like over emotional reactionary actions based on what they've been through. And I'm not saying it's understandable. They got to hold the line, and but
I think the Israelis are being perfectly rational, and their rationality is driven by one thing and one thing only. They still see Iran as the single most important existential threat to Israel.
Okay? And they're right.
Yes, they're right. So whatever brutality, whatever cold calculations, whatever approaches they want to take, that's what's driving them. And I don't think that it's necessarily vengeance, as you might be suggesting. So that's
I mean, it's. I'm talking about when they go outside of, like, I think what I'm getting at is I think Netanyahu and Trump are pretty much on the same page. And I think that when you see things that are going on outside of that, it may not necessarily be Netanyahu that's not giving it the wink and the nod himself. It may be, some upper general that's like, oh yeah, screw that. He killed my mother and my children last year or whatever, that kind of thing.
No,
you got to people. I mean, that's got to be some possibility.
I think Netanyahu's on the same page when he chooses to be.
Okay.
Okay, we've seen too many examples where they go off the plantation.
So if they err on the side of being too aggressive against Iran, I can live with that. I can sleep with that at night.
Okay, but there are every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You can say that physically, you can say that politically, you can say that culturally.
Luckily, we can't say that militarily though.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I guess we could say that, but. So let me just now I'm going to work up to what I think is the big one here. You may remember a number of times I've warned the audience that Iran has the, quote, home field advantage.
Sure.
Well, what happens if you screw up the home field advantage? Now, what could I possibly be talking about? I'm glad I asked the question. So here's the surprise. First of all, by the way, I'm sourcing this from Tausi TV for the audience at tousi.tv. Excellent source. They're up to date. They're on top of that situation. Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey, let me just say something real quick about the home field advantage.
Yes.
Home field advantage only works if the whole crowd is rooting. Almost the vast majority, all the whole crowd is rooting for you, and that may necessarily be true. In Iran, there's a lot of people within Iran that are not rooting for their home team. So let me just put it that way.
Yeah, well, when I'm saying home field advantage, I'm talking about the fact that there's a lot that and when I say we, I mean the American military and all our brilliant analysts and such, do not understand Iran, the Iranian culture, Iranian history, nearly as well as we should. Okay, and as a result, they know themselves better. And they know what buttons to push, what strings to pull with their own population in order to get results. However, what I'm about to tell you makes me wonder if that is true. All right. Part one from Tausi.tv was how there was I think it was the president, the late president, or somebody else who's a part of the IGRC, but he's not the boss in charge. Anyway, he had made some suggestions about compromising with the Americans. And the hardliners did not take to that at all. And in fact, they have now started what amounts to a counter-movement thing, where we had some IRGC members who are willing to compromise, get out in the street and demonstrate. But then at the same time, you had the IRGC hardliners now wanting to attack the IGRC who want to make a compromise.
A little civil war, a little internal strife.
All right, well, some might call it a civil war, but now we didn't expect to see quite this level of fighting among themselves, but apparently it's happened.
Now that it's happened, it kind of makes sense. Like there's got to be some people within the IRGC that have a little bit more of a reasonable mind saying to themselves, is this worth getting our asses blown up to this level, the whole country destroyed?
No, you got
Trump's ultimatum in 48 hours. That could create an argument internally, could it not?
Yeah, no.
They don't want to see their power going to go down. I mean,
they're still true believers. All right, so that's one part of this drama. Get ready for the next part. And this is the one where I have to stop and go, am I hearing this right? Okay. So I'll start by mentioning three countries. Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
Okay.
What do they all have in common?
Well, they all border Iran.
Yep. And they all sent caravans, people in cars waving flags, caravans of IRGC supporters from those three countries. Now, wait a second. An IRGC supporter from Afghanistan?
Well, yeah, we know Iran has proxies and whatnot. I mean,
well, we haven't heard of this before. I haven't heard of this before. And Pakistan as well. Okay, and then you throw in.
Get them all in one place. Let's do this.
Okay, so they did. They showed up in Tehran together. What was it yesterday or today? I don't know, but it happened recently. And so the commentator on Tausi TV was suggesting that there are certain groups within Iran that don't take too well to this. One of them being Atesh. Okay, so we have to remember that there may not be such a good relationship between the Iranian army and the IRGC. Historically,
well, it sounds like it'd be hard for the hardliners that are fighting America to continue to fight when they have half their own ranks and the Atesh, ganging up against them. So
Atesh, yeah. So we don't have any reports yet of this happening, but the commentator from Tausi TV was suggesting that we should look forward to something like that. Now, there are two other elements here to think about as we try to weigh what the hell is going on with Iran. One is we haven't heard much from the Kurds.
Mm-hmm.
And the suggestion is made that the Kurds are really duking it out with elements of the IRGC as we speak. Okay, so that's
great.
Well, great and not great. It seems like the IRGC has taken the offensive and they've put the Kurds on the defensive, from what I understand, if this is correct.
But it's still occupying IRGC forces and resources against another source besides us.
Yeah, that may be so. Now, the other part, though, that gets curious is I want to remind the audience that Turkey gets natural gas from Iran.
Also borders Iran in some places, I believe.
Sorry?
Do they also border Iran, I believe, to the north?
They do. Okay. Yeah. And the Iranians have shut off their natural gas to Turkey. Now, why they would do that, I don't know. But that reportedly is a 13% reduction in the amount of natural gas that Turkey has available to it. All right. So that said, it has been suggested. I mean, I've wondered about this because Erdogan, who is the prime minister of Turkey, is a very ambitious person who sees a future for Turkey as a regional hegemon, that would, quote, compete with Iran. Well, if Iran is down and getting knocked out, so there's a vacuum there, and it's going to be filled by Turkey.
Turkey's going to be the new enemy.
There's another story to be told there as well. Okay. The other suggestion then is if Turkey has some kind of role here, they will probably have a role in shaping the new government. Have you heard anybody talk about that?
Nope.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I've heard all of the Arab, a lot of the nations would be all involved in it. So Turkey would presumably be one of them. But
yeah, I would say, well, Turkey, I think, is able to exert the most influence. You have the ongoing conflict with Syria, and I don't know. Turkey has been doing its best to, control and direct what goes on in Syria, but they haven't been 100% successful in that regard. In any event, so Turkey is a country to watch out for in this story as it unfolds. So that is a point that I would want to make about this. All right. So and it was funny because in Tausi TV, you had as a news reporter a person going around asking these people in the street where they were from, and in this particular clip, so the news reporter was from Iraq, okay? And every person that he stopped and asked, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? They're all from Afghanistan.
Huh.
There were no Iranians in the street.
Huh.
All right. Yes. Well, this just adds to the strangeness of the situation. And it's just, how does this shake out politically? Because as Tausi TV was suggesting, these groups that are from Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iraq, in the eyes of Atesh, they're invaders. Invaders. We don't want them.
They're modern day carpetbaggers.
No, they're not bringing anything other than making a lot of noise. So, yes. In any event, so I guess that's what I had. Let me see. Is there anything else here about this I want to add? I mean, that picture by itself is pretty crazy as far as I'm.
The more chaos in Iran right now, at least, the better for us.
I would think, but
for the short term.
Yeah. So but in the middle of all this, you don't have any. How should I say this? I don't get the sense that the whatever you want to call the political leadership in Iran right now, where they're getting out in the street and working up the crowds, if they really know what they're doing. I mean, do they really understand the goal they're trying to accomplish here? I mean, if all you're doing is getting people in the street worked up, that isn't going to solve your problem. Okay. I mean, maybe the idea is that if they create enough uncertainty by creating all this unrest, maybe that prevents other things from happening. It's been suggested, for example, that what the Iranian government really fears the most is the building of a connection between the people and their communication systems. So that's where they shut down the internet. This is where you're having the struggles with Starlink. Okay. And in spite of that, we're still getting a few videos, cell phone videos here and there of what's happening in Tehran and other places. They're finding a way to get it out.
They're finding a way to get Starlink units in place too. That's part of the struggle. That's part of the ongoing battle.
Yeah,
the battle for internet connection and within Iran for sure.
Yeah, so
again, we'll win that one as well.
Yeah,
so I've looked into it, and you can't really they can't just set up a program to jam Starlink. You can't do it.
Really?
Nope.
Sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about that. They have to go and physically find it and arrest the people, take the units.
Let's see. Can you jam Starlink? It says right off the bat here, back in January, how Iran jammed Starlink.
They can jam it in small areas. They can't just jam it nationwide.
Okay.
That's what it is. They can go into a certain area and jam it in a certain area. They can't just, or jamming it everywhere, thousands of miles or like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because there's also, it says here, GPS antenna modifications can make Starlink immune to jammers, to your point.
Right.
So whatever.
Generally speaking, go physically find the machine. So if we can continue to smuggle those machines into Iran, that's going to help.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to make the other point, you have the Bushehr. Remember the Bushehr?
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
All right. So these have been the thugs, the ones that have really attacked the Iranian civilians.
The ones that murdered 30,000 civilians last fall?
Well, this is the other thing. The ones who would have done this, it is claimed, are mercenaries. They are not Iranian. The people who did the shooting were not Iranian citizens. Not.
Okay.
All right. So as a result,
what do you mean they weren't Iranian citizens? Were they IRGC? They were soldiers, weren't they?
No, the IRGC hired Arab mercenaries to come into the country.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's how brutal they can be. As the story goes, I don't know if
why, because their own IRGC. I got to ask why. Their own IRGC wouldn't shoot their own citizens?
Not like that. No, they wouldn't.
Oh, there you go.
Look at just look at the death count. That should tell you all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, yeah. So, what I wanted to say about Bushehr is that I'm surprised that they too would not be upset at these quote invaders, so to speak, from Afghanistan and Pakistan. Yeah. Anyway, so there's all that. So, and then the other thing, I've got to bring up Russia. Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So I don't think I sent you that link, but there are two things here that are extremely important to say about Ukraine with respect to Russia. Now, it's true that Russia is building up its manufacturing capacity for drones, but then again, so are the Ukrainians. So it's sort of their own arms race between who can produce more drones and destroy more drones. And the part that should be disturbing here is that we're at a very curious inflection point with Russia. And that is that the Ukrainians are reaching a level of production such that they are killing Russian soldiers at the same rate as they are being replaced.
Okay.
All right. So it's a net zero. They're not in terms of sheer manpower. The Russians are just holding their own.
Well, Russia's going nowhere. They're just barely holding water, barely staying above water.
Yep. So the point is, if their ability, I mean, as I am told, supposedly now Putin has put forth a mobilization effort for 400,000 men over the next. Let's see, does that make sense? 6 months, 6 into 40. Yeah, that's about right. So over the next 6 months, he wants to somehow find another 400,000 men to just throw into this meat grinder. And this is the thing: if the Ukrainians are killing them at the same rate they're being thrown into the field,
zero-sum game, man.
You're going nowhere. You're not. You're just not.
400,000 sounds like a lot, though. So maybe Putin is trying one last major offensive here.
Yeah, well, there's only so much of this you can do. But his problem
is 400,000 is a lot.
Yes, he doesn't have any other choice. So, yeah, no, we're talking about roughly 35,000 men, Russians, killed every month.
Yeah.
This is incredible. You got to remember that Americans, it was 57,000 Americans killed in Vietnam over how many years?
Yeah.
And here the Russians are losing 35,000 every month.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, there has to be a limit to this stuff.
So if you're a single man in America and you're having trouble finding a woman, move to Russia. Women will be everywhere. Just saying.
Boy, let me tell you, don't let yourself be fooled.
I'm kidding.
Down south, as fine as they get. And if you're going to be foolish enough to pick up some Russian bitch, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one to blame. That's right. So,
but yeah, that's a lot of people that die in any kind of. You don't want to see that many people die in any.
No.
At least the ones that aren't Muslim, anyway.
But so what is and then the other part here with Russia that just compounds the problem is that it's been part of Russia's supposedly brilliant strategic thinking to have control of this, quote, breakaway province called Transnistria. Are you familiar with Transnistria?
I'm pleading the fifth on that one.
Okay. Well, you'll have to look it up. But
is this a province that before this war began was part of Ukraine or part of Russia?
Well, I'll see if I can get away with it here. Don't disappear on me. Okay. So over here is Russia. Okay.
Oh, wow. You got like a point there.
Here is Ukraine.
There's no map, but there's a point.
All right. Now you keep going west. And now what you're going to encounter is this very long, narrow piece of territory called Transnistria, which is next to a country called Moldova.
I've heard of that.
Which is next to Romania.
Okay.
And so apparently there's 1,500 Russian soldiers in the Transnistria province, and they have been somehow trapped there. You know, the point was that Putin felt that he was making life difficult for the Ukrainians by having these Russian troops on the, deep Ukrainian territory.
Yeah.
But it hasn't exactly worked out that way. Plus, Moldova is not a fan of Russia. They do not like the way Russia's been treating them.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Transnistria may merge back into Moldova.
Okay. Well, right now, Transnistria is part of Ukraine, right?
No, it's a breakaway province. It is its own entity.
It's a Wait, so it's its own nation then?
Yes.
Okay. And it might let Moldova annex it.
Essentially. But then you want the interesting part? The Moldovans are looking forward to merging with Romania.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So what's that going to do?
Well, Romania is part of NATO, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Aha.
Okay, so
That
this
puts Russian troops in NATO territory.
so much for Putin's grand plan, right? So here he's losing a leg of his strategy against Ukraine, while Ukraine is continuing to kill more and more of his Russian troops, and he's losing a partner in Iran. So this is a degrading picture here for Putin.
For the Russian government, for Putin. Yeah.
Right, and that's just part of the story. They lost Syria, right, when Syria got its revolution, and they have lost ground in Africa. So there are a lot of things that Putin was counting on in terms of a, quote, geopolitical strategy for the country, which have just not worked out.
Now that we have all this momentum, it's time to keep pushing the pedal to the metal and back these people into a corner.
Our good president would tell you as much. He
right.
would tell you as much. Right.
If it takes a little while, it takes a little while. If the gas prices get a little high, that's okay. We can live with that for a little while. I know some people don't have money and it's hard to afford, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
get through it. It is not going to last forever.
So yes, so keep that in mind. So and then again,
I think Monday is a really big day to see what happens after Trump's 48-hour deadline goes on. Are we going to see a heavier bombing, or how great is he going to fall? Trump usually follows through what he says he's going to do. So
yeah, well, and then we got a compliment here from JKK 8609 a few minutes ago. Us, great show, guys. Love your dedication to USA. That's right. Well, we love America.
Hey, it's our team, man. We were born and raised here. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave, and there's no other place on earth I'd rather be.
Yeah, I think to JKK 8609, I would just add, there are a lot of people who probably go through an evolution. Part of it is they get brainwashed in the public school system and in college, but the brainwashing may not stick. The brainwashing may not stick.
It usually doesn't once you start, because most people live the lives of conservatives. That's why once you get out of college, you got to get a job and have a family, and reality sets in, does it not?
It's not just that. It's then you begin to absorb a larger amount of information. You have even a modicum of curiosity. You're going to learn many more things than what they taught you in college, and you're going to come out with a different picture than what they gave you in college.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is definitely a different picture.
So I think, speaking for people like you and me, that's right. We rediscover, okay? We rediscover our love for our country.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd like to think that the love for the land that you live in, that you should be come naturally, I would think, but unfortunately not for everybody.
Well, yes and no. There are, let me give you one really weird example. There are people who are part of what is called the Quaker community. You've heard of Quakers.
Yeah, of course.
And do you know what the hallmark of Quakers is?
Nonviolence.
That's right.
They're pacifists.
Pacifists.
I am this close to being a pacifist myself. I'm not quite there, but I'm this close.
Okay, well,
only because I would kill to save myself and my loved ones. The pacifists don't believe in any kind of violence under any circumstances. I say there is a circumstance.
All right. So I remember from college meeting somebody who was from a Quaker family.
Interesting.
Okay. Who had a special interest in being pacifists. And I remember standing there looking at this guy, me, who had just gotten out of the Navy. And it's like, yeah, this guy's for real. I think I can see that in him. I feel it and sense it from him.
Mm-hmm.
But still, how is he so different from me? How is it that he's like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How he was raised, we have to conclude, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also the genetic factor, too. You can never count that out.
Oh, there's a gene for pacifism?
There's a gene for some people are more serene and tend toward peace than others, and there's some natural tendency. There are people that are born with a violent tendency. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll hold on to that thought for the time being. So anyway, I just had to throw that out there.
Well, here's what I think. I think babies are born. I tell my daughter this all the time. They're born kicking, screaming, biting, yelling. You have to teach them not to do that stuff. They don't do it on their own. If you don't teach them how to do that, they'll keep doing it until they're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. They'll keep biting, kicking, screaming. You got to teach them not to do that.
Well, as we know, there are some who continue to do that well into adulthood.
That's right, because the parents never damn well told them not to.
All right, and so I'm going to throw out one here. So here was a video clip. I guess there was a car accident of some kind, and this woman who was all Karen gets out of the car and starts to give this guy a rough time. So I'll state the obvious. Just another sucker. Another dumb biatch who's watched too many Hollywood movies thinking that women can, punch a man out. Okay. And so at some point she decides that she's going to go for it. That'll be the last time she ever did that.
Yeah.
Because, the guy was being a gentleman up until that point.
So she went to knock him in the face, right?
She punched him in the face, and he wasn't having any of it. So
he defended himself.
And she ended up on the ground, and it took her a long time to get up. So
I personally, I don't think I could hit a woman really, even if she tried to hit me.
No, I remember,
I would defend myself, but I don't think I could hit back.
Yeah, I learned early that you shouldn't.
You ever see the movie Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood?
Sorry?
You remember the movie Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood?
That was a really bad movie.
It was a bad movie, but there's a scene about 3/4 of the way through the movie where the girl that he's hanging out with, she's drunk, and she flips out. She just starts hitting him in the face, right? And Clint Eastwood just stands there, taking it one after the other. Finally, after about the fifth one, he's like, "Okay, I've had enough. Go ahead, just take her hand. Like, come on over here, honey." Like I don't know. Like I couldn't hit a woman. Couldn't do it. Well, if she was coming at me with lethal force, then I would have to put her down.
Right.
It's like Johnny Cash, But if it was anything short of that, I couldn't hit a woman under any circumstances.
No.
I was married to a woman once. They got really mad at me once and started going crazy and came at me and trying to hit me and jumping on my back, and it was crazy. Right. One nighttime thing.
Okay, well, such women exist.
They exist. I know a couple of them.
Yeah. So
at any rate, it's maybe the women of Iran should take charge.
Well,
I did see a story about that on Fox last month, actually, about how the women, the deposed women of Iran, want to come back and sit there. You mentioned last month about how some of those sisters that defected are calling up their soldier brothers on the phone, saying, "What are you doing? Put down your arms. Come on now," type of thing.
Which sisters were these?
Remember you mentioned that? You mentioned last month about some of these Iranian soldiers that are out in the fire getting cell phone calls from their sisters and relatives that have defected to the United States, telling them to get their shit together. And, remember that? You don't remember that?
Not really. No. Oh, I might have. I mean, we've done a lot of these episodes already, which is kind of remarkable when you consider it. But yeah. So
I think I have faith that the president and the military as a country, we're just not going to let Iran survive. The old man guard is not going to survive this. Mm-hmm. They survive in pieces in the mountains or scattered around, and they have to try to regroup. It'll take them years to regroup, whatever. They're always going to be the evil presence. I mean, but we can't. But the state, they won't have a state. They'll go for Turkey, like you think maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I know the leader of Turkey does not like the United States. I know that's true. I get the guy's name. Erdogan. He is not a fan of the United States. That is the truth.
Right. He's been around for a long time, and he's certainly caused America enough trouble. And this is,
as a matter of fact, like to your point, if it wasn't for Iran, Turkey would probably, if the Iran Revolution had never happened today, it probably would be Turkey would be the place we'd be looking at as the bigger threat. If not as big of one, but it would be the big one probably.
Well, I don't know about a threat. The thing about Turkey is that they have, think of them as the last remnant of the Ottoman Empire.
Mm.
And by virtue of where they are geographically, they've been able to exert, I would say, an undue amount of influence in different areas.
Well, they are the bridge between Europe and Asia. I mean,
that's true. So it's got to be kind of cheeky for them. I mean, so they play both sides of the street in ways that I just find astonishing. And I don't see anybody calling them out on it. They just go ahead and, I mean, for example, they're shipping stuff to Russia and to Ukraine in the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Meantime, Russia does something to irritate them, and then all of a sudden, there are these cruise ships from Russia that the Turkish are saying, no, you can't come into our ports.
Mm-hmm.
It just, wow. And they're still trading with each other. I mean,
yeah, there's a little duplicity going on over there for sure.
All right. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to try a slightly different subject here. Something came up where supposedly some of the tax money that you and I are paying to the state of Connecticut is being sent to other states.
Other state governments?
Correct.
Other blue state governments, probably, right?
Correct.
Well, in a world of evil, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. So just one more somewhere.
Probably California is one of them because they're the ones that are hemorrhaging money the most.
Mm-hmm.
And we are probably rich. We are, if we're not only the deepest blue state in the nation, I think, but the richest blue state in the nation as well, despite our budgetary issues.
On a per capita basis?
Correct.
I'm not so sure. I'm going to take
not only on a per capita basis, but in terms of our state budget too. Despite, I know it's fake, but they've managed to steal enough money to keep. There's probably enough money that they've stolen to float our rolls as well, our government rolls.
Oh, let's see here. See if we get something. So number 1 is Maryland. So Connecticut's number 4, and yep. And California would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and California's number 6. So yes, but the thing about, so I'm surprised Virginia isn't on this list. So the thing about Maryland, of course, is that yes, its high median household income is due to the fact that it's near Washington, D.C.
Yeah. I'm surprised Virginia's not enjoying that as well.
Yeah. We're being ripped off left and right.
What's number 1?
Maryland is number 1.
Oh, Maryland's number 1. Okay.
Right. So
we're being ripped off bad. What we want to do is we want actually have somebody researching the daycare centers around Connecticut, the state-funded daycare centers around Connecticut.
Okay. Let's see if that produces anything.
See if they exist.
There was another tidbit that the Medicare fraud in California is so bad, okay, that there are too many more cases than the Department of Justice can prosecute.
Mm.
And when you add up all the Medicare fraud in California, it's twice the net worth of Warren Buffett.
Oh my goodness.
So that should give you an idea of just how bad
it's called mass fraud, and that's the definition of mass fraud.
There's got to be a way to deal with this. It's like you can, I would say, it's kind of like you catch a person and you tell them don't leave town. We're going to get back to you. Okay. We have these other cases we have to prosecute, but you are on our list, so you better not go anywhere. Be the best. I mean,
we also have to maybe hire more prosecutors temporarily then.
Well, yeah, that costs money too.
Sure.
So, and we're going to get it back? Will there be any
get it back?
Clawback on this money?
We're going to, even if we don't get it back, just the fact that we stop the floodgates is a huge victory.
Well, I would want to check that more closely too. I'm not so sure that we stopped the.
No, I don't think we have yet, but that we do.
Yeah.
That should be the easier of the 2 steps, should it not? Stop the floodgate, and then the prosecution will be the harder part.
I
would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. But you have people who are fighting to allow these people to continue committing their crimes. And I can imagine various judges saying, go ahead, we're going to put an injunction on you. You can't do it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's just.
How about this, to shift gears for just temporarily?
Yeah.
How about this district judge that told President Trump that he has to stop construction on the ballroom of the White House in the middle of it?
Just more liberal idiocy. That's all. Just more liberal idiocy.
It's not just idiocy. It's blatant. And even though the funds to form that renovation or to fund that renovation are privately done through donations, not even taxpayer funded. How in the world is that even credible? Well, he'll win the appeal, but
okay,
still.
Well, that's yes. Well, the point is that
getting back to that we said about liberal judges down, in California.
Yeah, well, it shows that there are certain ideas they latch onto, and that's good enough for them in order to justify interfering with what the president is doing, even if they have no justification for that interference.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find some other idea. Like, I think it was that he thinks that you think of the president as not being the owner, but as being the placeholder for the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in government in one way or another is a placeholder. But then you go back to the fact that you have so many examples of major renovations that took place in the White House. It's like, well, Judge, don't you remember?
How do you go up with that, right? Those renovations have been celebrated in the past, not
as well. Yeah. So
yeah.
So yes, there is serious bias going on here with respect to those problems.
Well, I mean, even though I know the renovation of a ballroom area is not a major issue in this country right now, but just the same, that kind of blatant wanton use of the law by a judge is an example of the problem we have of the problem we have.
Yeah, well, you can count on them to pick on anything. That's their job. Whatever you can do, I don't care what it is. Stop Trump. Stop Trump. That should be the new political party, the Stop Trump Party.
To me, that I don't know how you can really say that somebody whose entire job is to stop Trump would be a legitimate job, really.
In their eyes, it is.
Yeah, but it's obstruction. It's. I mean, I understand politics is a dirty game, but I think we're all under the understanding that in a democracy, an opposing party is supposed to be touting their policies versus the policies of a sitting president, not just stop Trump or stop them as the only thing.
Yeah,
I saw this thing on Facebook. It was a billboard. It was an AI picture of a billboard, but it said, "Democrats, use this billboard to put up what you like about your party's policies," or something. Use this free billboard space to put up what you like about your party's policies, or something like that.
Okay.
And there's nothing there to put up. Nothing.
All right.
Stop Trump. I see it.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's ridiculous. It's revolutionary in a bad way, not a good way.
Yeah, we keep making the point that Democrats are basically destroying America, and Connecticut is very much a part of that. So, how does
in other states? I'd say so.
Well, for Connecticut, how does this sound? A group that is put together called Rebuild Connecticut.
Oh boy, I'm not sure if I want to like this or not.
Why?
Rebuild Connecticut into what?
Into a state that has a stronger economy than we have right now.
That's what I like.
Okay, into one that has has all the attributes of a state that is, shall we say, growing faster than the American economy rather than growing slower than the American economy. That would be one way to think about it.
It should be easy given the tools we have here and the resources we have here.
Right. Well, you say should. Should is an interesting word here.
With a benevolent government, we don't have one. So
no, we have a
cruel, an evil one.
Yeah. So there's this other idea I've been trying to kick around. And a quick search showed that, there's a basis for this. So here's one of the problems with this bill that's being considered that's going to cause problems for families who want to homeschool their children. There is the following: sue the Connecticut legislature for religious discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
There's a basis for it.
And that is?
Well, that it's been done before, apparently. But
I've heard this issue in terms of vaccines and whatnot. But how do we make it into a religious issue in terms of homeschooling?
Well, in the case of homeschooling, as it turns out, it's something like 90% of all the homeschoolers are in Christian academies.
Okay.
All right. So if you have the state of Connecticut forcing people because of their religious beliefs to register with the state,
I get it. I see.
I'm thinking that's unconstitutional.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Might even be a First Amendment violation. I'm not sure. But in any event, the point is that the suing the legislature is a path to consider. Because I've just been racking my brains trying to think of any way we can do to slow down or stop these creeps from what they're doing. And that so far is the best idea I have. What can I say?
Except the problem is our judicial system is so poorly corrupted as well. So it would have to be a federal lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And
religious discrimination.
I'm hearing today. I was talking to a couple of activists I know today. Yeah. And they were telling me that a lot of law offices in Connecticut are actually closing their doors now because some of the leaders are frustrated that the legal system is so badly corrupted, including a lot of the traffic lawyers and things like that.
Traffic?
Yeah, traffic violation lawyers, the ones that,
And so I don't understand so how do you politicize traffic violations?
Not politicizing it. The lawyers that were taking cases from clients who were disputing traffic violations are starting to close their doors because they're just frustrated with the corruption. They're being ruled against unduly, and they're setting up things like what happened to me in Massachusetts, where you're going from a really busy area where the speed limit is high quickly down to a low speed limit area, and they sit right there. They just bag people one by one. And they violate their rights. It's entrapment and things like that, and just and not only just traffic lawyers, but other law firms around the state are some of them are starting to close their doors because they're just frustrated with it. That's so corrupted.
Okay. Well, that
one of those lawyers are actually the ones we could use.
Okay, the speed zone trick is old news.
Goes all the way back to the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes, exactly.
And before that, as long as we had cars, I get it.
All right. Okay. So
what's not old news though is the rigging of it in court though.
Well, okay. The difference is there's supposed to be a formal process up here in the north. Down south, if you happen to be stopped for a speeding violation, now by the way, son, the judge just happens to be in the back of the police car here, so let's go have a little meeting with him.
Well, generally speaking, cops. I love law enforcement, but cops can sometimes be overzealous in getting the arrest and getting the collar or whatever. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times those things happen, and people, kind of get overblown at what they did. And usually you can count on the court to have a cooler head and kind of come to a more sensible solution. So when you lose that, I'll give you an example. My son, when he was 8 years old, I was coaching his sister's softball team. Mm-hmm. And he was just a kid, 8 years old, 9 years old maybe. And he had a sock monkey and he was throwing it up and down near the school. This is in Enfield, this happened.
Yeah.
He's 23 now, so this is 14 years ago. And the sock monkey landed on one of those window ledges, those school windows that come out like this.
Okay.
Landed on one of the ledges and went inside the school. So he climbed in the window to get it, setting off the school alarm.
Oh, brother.
And of course, he's 9 years old. So when he gets in there, he sees all the Legos and all the things like, wow, he's looking at it. He's just kind of, I didn't touch anything in there. Climbs back out the window and he's kind of having trouble getting out the window. That's why Enfield PD shows up. This guy shows up. He's about your age. He's probably in his mid 60s, right? Early 60s. Yeah. This guy shows up like it's the crime of the century. By this time, it caught my attention. So I walk away from the game even to walk up. It's about a football field away to walk up to the officer and just try to. This should have been handled on the parental level for sure. but this officer treated it like it was the crime of the century. Oh, blah, 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 you got away. I stood between him and the police car to prevent him from taking my son away. And actually, he finally agreed to just give him a citation. And the kid had to go to juvenile court and face these breaking and entering charges and these felony. The kid's 9 years old. It was unbelievable. But we knew that the point is, we knew that when we got to the juvenile, I felt pretty confident, even though they waited a month before we got to the court.
Yeah.
That when we got there, that sensible people would look at it and say, okay, and that's exactly what happened. The woman at the prosecutor, I actually had a laugh over it, and Logan went away with absolutely no record at all. It was the most ridiculous thing. So what I'm getting at is, if we lose that, if the judicial system is also rigged against you, and you can't, a cop can just do anything, and it's all the same, and that ruins it. That kills it.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Yeah, it is a serious problem.
It is a serious problem.
And we haven't.
The problem with these kind of things is, you don't. This guy I know he's right. He says rights are like muscles. If you don't exercise them, then you're going to lose them. They're weakened and you'll lose them, right? So you have to exercise your rights.
Right.
And the problem is, it's a slippery slope. They slowly erode, but then when it gets to a point where they feel like they have all the power, then and then it goes quickly, and it's hard to get it back. This started in America, in my opinion, with the election of Barack Obama. This sort of larger, precipitous erosion of the "We the People" theme, of the people, by the people, for the people theme, which slowly eroded throughout the 20th century. To be honest with you, in 2008, it started to fall a little more precipitously, especially here in Connecticut.
I can only agree. And the solution is not obvious, because we continue to be in a deep blue state.
It's not easy, that's for sure. The solution is, look, unfortunately, we just speak from the point of view of a pacifist point of view recently, but these kind of things, like when Ronald Reagan says we don't negotiate with terrorists, was it Bush that said that, or Reagan? I think it was Reagan that first said that.
Reagan.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, right? And, he said that for a reason, because they're not here. They're not going to negotiate with us. They're here to kill us or whatever. So again, it gets back to that dog eat dog theme: kill or be killed. And so at some point, hopefully it's not too late, we're going to realize that we have to sort of fight fire with fire. I think Trump gets it. Obviously, he's bombing the hell out of Iran right now. But here in this country, it's a lot more difficult. We have what we call domestic tranquility here. That's in the Constitution, right? Okay. Ensure domestic tranquility. Right now, half of our government, or a lot of our government, is doing the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to fighting these communists in Connecticut, I find that we should look to Rob Sanson as something of a model. My temptation, despite my temptation to get very angry and judgmental and insulting, I would look to him and say, this is the more proper way to do it. He is rational. He formulates logical arguments. He sets it up in a way that makes it clear that the way the liberals are thinking is incorrect. That's putting it nicely. So I think, part of me wants to accept that is the way in which you would fight them. This is fighting them to a limited degree, which gets us to another thing I wanted to talk about, which is more internal operation stuff. But you had mentioned the other night that on Facebook, your rant about Facebook got a couple thousand views.
Correct.
What about since then?
My cat got 1,200 the other day. But was it the different? Usually when I do a film of the cat, I talk about the cat. And this one, I did a film about the cat, but I talked about politics while I was filming the cat. And that got 1,200 views. So,
so this is, I find this very
momentum. There's some momentum there with that.
Yeah.
And
which is good.
We're at the point right now. Again, one of the things that's holding me up is making sure, because I do plan on going into some pretty dangerous places and doing some pretty ballsy stuff, and I want to make sure that everything is in line to protect myself as much as possible. If I'm going to put myself in, with problems, then I want to make sure that I'm not on a suicide watch or anything like a suicide thing. So I want to make sure I'm protected as much as possible, and we're just about there. And once we're really very close to being there. And
that said, have you read the enemy properly? Okay, because there are some issues which would be, shall we say, hot button issues, and you could be easily hitting a nerve, Or there could be other issues that are important, but not that important to them.
That's correct. And knowing the difference between the two is probably important.
Okay, so I don't know.
However,
yes.
This is an approach that I don't know if I should talk about right now, but we are Common News and Entertainment, so the focus is not just on politics. It's going to be on entertaining people as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do the news, we're going to get to the truth. So, okay, let me give you an idea of what my vision for the. I'll tell people what my idea for a vision for the network is.
Okay.
It's sort of the way CBS would have. If CBS, we'll use CBS as an example. Mm-hmm. If CBS was a truly fair and balanced and benevolent network, which we all know it's not, but if it was, I would model myself after kind of what they do. In other words, I would have, except the difference is, I wouldn't have dumb, stupid TV dramas on at night. I would have just news it between 8 and 11. I would have like what Fox would do. I'd have kind of like but basically between 6 p.m. and midnight. I would basically be kind of like what Fox News does, covering the news deep and well in different ways. Boom, comedy, whatever, drama, you name it. Then the rest of the day is be more like CBS would do. In other words, in the during the day there'll still be a lot of news during the day during the week. But in the mornings, like on Saturday mornings, CBS used to have kids program. We're going to have kids programming, good, wholesome kids programming, by the way, teaching kids the right way on Saturday mornings. And then Sunday mornings, I know Selena wants to do a spiritual show. And then if we're going to have any, preachers or Christian things going on, that'd be a good thing for Sunday mornings, right? That's a good time for that. And then Sundays, afternoons, with sports, like the CBS would do sport. We're going to do it. I'm playing baseball this year, if I can make it. So we're going to cover valuable baseball up in Springfield this year.
What are you going to do with baseball?
I'm going to play baseball. I'm going to play, trying out. I got my first practice coming up on Saturday, the 11th, week from today.
What team would you be?
Well, I have to be drafted. You see, I played from 2013. Yeah, from 2013 to 2019, I played on the Tigers in the Valuable League up in Springfield. I played outfield and first base.
Okay.
Mostly the last 3 years, all first base. I bat .486 in 2018 and drove in 21 runs in 20 games, by the way.
All right.
And I hit 4 doubles. Oh, it was great. And I only made 1 error in 3 years, too. Then the COVID hit. Boom! Killed it all.
Yeah. Okay.
They wanted to play in 2021. They wanted me to wear a mask playing baseball on a hot summer day. Can you imagine that? I told them to go fry ice. But anyway, I'm back this year. I haven't played since. And I am older and certainly not as astute as I was. Not as the dexterity's down. I'm not even sure. But I'm going to give it a shot. I can still hit. I know I can still hit. But we're going to cover it on CSNE on Sunday afternoons. I'll be playing. Hopefully. Now, because I left, I have to be drafted again into the league.
Yeah, who's going to draft you?
Hopefully the Tigers again. I think I've served them well. But if not, it depends on who gets the first pick. It may be somebody else. There's 6 teams. There's the Cubs, the Tigers, the Angels, Orioles, A's, and Twins. And
what area? What geographic?
Springfield, Mass. A lot of Springfield, Mass. They play in Springfield, Enfield, Longmeadow. It feels different. They reserve. It's all 30 and over. League, amateur, obviously, and it's fun as hell.
So what would be some of the
baseball, by the way, not softball, baseball.
Yeah. So what would be some of the oldest players they have?
There were guys in there. A guy named Senior on their team was 56, which is how old I am, almost am now.
Okay.
I was 49 the last year I played. So there are guys in their 50s that play, There's a couple guys that are like 30. They're supposedly 30. And you look at them like, are you sure you're 30? Throwing the ball 80 miles an hour. So there's a couple guys that are, in there to try to dominate or whatever. It's fun, though, going up against those guys that are slinging it hard.
Yeah.
We had a game against the Orioles one year. This guy came in. He was throwing easily over 80, sure.
Okay.
He was zinging it and throwing curveballs, and we were all striking. He beat us like 3-0 or whatever. But I was proud of the fact that I was the only guy that, I lined to the right fielder. I hit a line drive to right field.
Yeah.
He didn't strike me out. I think I grounded it first and lined to right or something. I walked or something like that. He did not strike me out. So he's striking everybody else out. I struck out only 1 year. I'm not sure if it was 2018 or 2017. I struck out 3 times the whole year.
What?
Very difficult. Yeah, very difficult to strike this guy out. Very difficult to do. And that's in about 45 at bats. So.
Well, with a batting average of over 400, that speaks for itself.
I was rolling. That was the only year. The other year after that, I hit 386, I think it was, and I broke my thumb All right, let me tell you this story real quick before we wrap it up. I'm playing first base. This is the last year we played, 2019.
Yeah.
Playing first base against the Twins. I was a regular first baseman by this point, and we're trying to pick the guy off. Tossing over, blah blah blah. He throws one over. I go to tag the guy. I almost picked him off. I didn't quite get him out. And I feel this excruciating pain in my right thumb. Excruciating. And but I dismissed it because even though it was hurting me bad, I dismissed it because I used to play pickup basketball all the time. And I remember what it was like to jam a finger when you're going for a rebound. And I just thought I had jammed my thumb. So I just said, okay, I jammed my thumb. It hurts like hell, but it'll be all right. I keep playing, right? We get to the second or third pitch after that play, and the pain is just not going away. So finally, I'm like, let me just take my glove off and take a look at it. I get it out, and my thumb goes halfway up, and right here it goes at 45-degree angle, gunk, like that.
Oh,
right here at the base of the thumb, gunk. And I went, can I get a timeout? Can we get a timeout here, please?
Right.
And so Melissa's there. I get off the field. I go to Melissa, and we get a sub 2. I go to Melissa. I'm like, you got to straighten this thing out. I'm like, I'm going to count to 3. You got to do it. She's like, I can't do it. I'm like, you got to do it, Melissa. I'll close my eyes. She's like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm like, just do it. 1, 2, 3. So she does it, right? She actually succeeds in getting it almost back to where it was. It was a little bit off.
Yeah.
And I got to do something I'd never done before in my life.
Yeah.
I got to pass out cold from pain.
Oh, okay.
I literally went out for about, Melissa, I don't know if she's in the room, about 20 seconds, I guess. I was out cold from the pain. The pain just went right on the ground on the parking lot of the baseball park. Okay. And I woke up, and I got up, and we went to the emergency room, and I got it patched up or whatever. But it was I got the emergency room visit for free because there was cucaracha in our emergency room.
Okay, so what is the feasibility of your getting a teammate?
What's that?
What is
you want to play?
Not me.
Oh,
Doug? Yes.
Oh, if he's in the plan, we could do that. He could sign up. I don't know if it's too late for this year. He'd have to do it quick.
So I'll tell you the quick story. When he was in the Little League, and it was he got into the championship round against this team that had a freak for a pitcher. So imagine, this is like, what, 12, 13 years old? This kid was like 6'5".
What?
And he was throwing balls at like 70 miles an hour. Forget about it for these little kids.
Yeah.
So that's right. There were only 2 people who got a hit off of him.
Douglas was one of them.
And Douglas was one of them.
Nice.
And it was one of these things that just went down the third base line, and it just went a little bit foul. It was just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Almost.
Another thing that's on the bucket list is I've never hit a home run in an organized game.
Yeah.
I hit the wall at Cooperstown. That's the truth. The league did an outing to Cooperstown, New York, to play a game on Hall of Fame Field out in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
After the season one year, and I went out there. We played a pickup game. It was an organized game. I hit the freaking left field wall, and I've never hit one over the fence, man. I really hope. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it anymore, but it's hard to hit a hard ball over a fence unless you got a lot of strength. You got to have a lot of strength to do it. And
I think Douglas has the strength. He could do it.
Yeah, he's got the strength.
That's right.
But with that, are you set for tonight?
I think we're good. I'll just mention that, as I've been sitting here on the YouTube side here, I think we had like 2 people at one point, and then it went down to 1, and then it went up to 2, back to 1. It's been 0 for the last half hour.
Mm-hmm.
And some people might go ahead and watch later on.
Sure.
But we got to be able to get better numbers than these, and
we will. Trust me, we will.
We've got to do something to do it. It's not.
Well, I got to get the. I got to subscribe to this for starters.
Okay. Well, I mean,
and then we're gonna get a billboard.
A billboard.
But before it's content. Before, like, we need to build more content though. So the timing is so important. If I do a billboard and then we disappoint people with it.
Okay, but a lot of this content is like a newspaper. After the 3rd day, it's useless.
Lee and I are getting a solid following on Rumble right now in the hundreds.
Yes.
and in the high hundreds, and in the low hundreds on Substack.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel. I am a little disappointed with the what's happening on the regular videos that we're doing, but the shorts are getting good responses, and Facebook I'm doing really, really well on.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody on Facebook, by the way. Keep on spread the word over there. And so once we put it all together and we have more content, I think you're going to see things really, really work out. And especially, and I find that people want to see the things that I got to do out in the field. They're honestly more interested in watching what I do out in the field than they are me sitting here.
Yeah.
So once we get more of that, and then that will dovetail back to here because I can come back here and talk about it.
Sure.
And that will draw more people. So, and every time we get one of our like DeBarros, or we had this controversy between DeBarros and Amy Chai that went on, that got quite a bit of response. And our subscriptions on YouTube are going slow, but they keep going up. They were 20, 30, now they're up to 58.
Okay.
So it's a slow crawl, but we're gonna accelerate. We're gonna kind of like what Trump's doing in Iran. We're gonna hit it even harder. So, and here's another thing, Court. Our content is great. Look at me. I got a freaking Vermont hat. I need a shave. I got some stupid white wall behind me. We're gonna work. We gotta figure all that out too. We gotta present a much more professional. I like your green room. You're on your way over there with that.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. Takes time, but we'll get there.
Okay. So on a happy note, I'll talk to you later.
Okay then. Good night, everybody. Once again on Facebook. Thank you for watching.
Happy Easter.
For Common Sense News and Entertainment, God bless Connecticut. God bless